Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode, it's not 555. We didn't update this. It's episode 556 for May 22nd, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another host, Kyle.
And I'm Kelly.
I'm the interviewee, Tony of Calgary.
Hey, Tony of Calgary, the interviewee. So just an FYI, Tony, the lead host has to update all of the shit.
I just sat down.
It's a training. It's a training process.
Should have just told me earlier. I could have done it.
556 NATO. Hello.
There we go. Okay, let's do what we did in guns. Kyle, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Not much of really anything this week, although I had a little bit of a break from baseball tournament Saturday morning, so I went down to the range to take registration, kind of help set up it for the VFW charity match that they were holding. It was just a charity steel match. And so, yeah, went down, did that, had decent turnout. Awesome sponsors. I think got the numbers in the end, ended up raising like $9,000 for VFW, which is Veterans of Foreign Wars, kind of like the Legion down here. So yeah, that was cool. And yeah, sounds like everyone enjoyed themselves and had a good time. And yeah, that was pretty much, that's all I pretty much did this week. So
quick one.
Kelly, how about you?
Yeah, same thing. I didn't do much this past weekend. I wasn't feeling well, so I stayed home. But last night I was chatting with the ladies from She Shoots. So we've confirmed actually a really good couple for our next She Shoots podcast, which is going to be in June. Now, that being said, I know that we usually do the second Tuesday of every month. We're not sure if we're going to be able to do that. So I will defer to give you the actual date we're going to be doing it on. But we are going to be talking about PPCs, and we're going to be talking to a lady and a man. And they may or may not be champions, and they may or may not have been already on the show before. So
I know Hugh got on.
I think I have a feeling too.
I knew already when you said PCC. I'm like, couple PCC. I only know one couple in PCC, and I think you've got them.
Yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Melanie and Taylor are going to come on. Melody, did I say Melanie or Melody? I think I said Melanie.
You did.
Close enough.
Yeah. It's Melody and Taylor are going to come on. So I might even actually ask some of them want to come on this show too, because we've never had them on together. They're very good shooters, both in PPC and as well as in Ipsc. So, and speaking of Ipsc, I know that we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. What else? Oh, and I'm going to be flying into Calgary this weekend. So Friday, getting on an airplane, and I'm going to take that long trip out. And then on Sunday, I'm coming right back. So short trip to Calgary, but we're going to be attending the AGM for the CCFR. And hopefully I will be announced as Ontario director for the next 2 years again. Yay. Yay. Yeah. So I will see a whole bunch of different people who are attending the AGM. Hopefully. Tony, are you going to be coming? You're in Calgary.
I'll see you there.
Excellent. We'll get to meet in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that
too far of a drive for me.
Is it?
I'm like
3 hours too far of a drive. You did Maple States way further than that.
Right?
Just so you know.
Yeah. Actually, no, I've got a PAL course that day, so I can't. Otherwise I would.
The next couple of weekends are going to be filled with gun stuff. AGM this weekend. I don't think we're having a fun shoot, which is kind of weird, but still. So AGM this weekend for the CCFR. The next weekend it is going to be the National Range Day, and then Sunday I'm doing a club level ATT course handgun course. Yes, I know. Also taking my dad to the range that day too. And then the week after that, I'm going to be doing the known distance for Project Maple Seed and with Dave. And I think, well, that's my next 3 weekends or 4 weekends. So that's about it for me. What about you, Adriel?
A couple things. Okay, I think you guys saw me taking apart that 300 blackout and measuring up some stuff last time.
Yep.
There it is. There's the tiny little 300 blackout.
Looks
very
good.
tiny. Look at that. Pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
Cut it at an angle to fit it.
Oh. I guess
it's very small.
That's so sharp.
Yeah, very small, and I like it. I like the
Doesn't
all
look
white.
like Rust-Oleum at all.
If you feel it, you would know.
Oh God.
That doesn't feel like Cerakote. No, it's not. Not gonna last either, but that's okay. If I hunt with it and I scratch it up, who cares? It just adds character to it. I've got just enough out there, so if I need to, I can take off the muzzle device and put another one on, and I'm not really limited on space for the muzzle device, so that's nice. And it is a nicer forend than the other one. The other one was key mod and kind of sharp. This one's M-lock and very light, very lightweight. It's very skeletonized. So looking forward to that. As I was looking forward to it, I reloaded a bunch of 300 blackout. So some more bullets for that. Made some 9mm until my primer feed lippy thing at the bottom bent up, and that's my last one. My Dylan is really hurting right now. Yeah, that part's broken. I've cracked the actual frame, and I've cracked one of the guides on the bottom.
On a Dylan, eh?
Yeah, I've reloaded.
So what part was bending? The primer seat or the
the primer tube with the little blue plastic thing at the bottom?
Oh, your catch, like your little bucket for it.
Yeah, it holds the primers, and then it pushes them out onto the primer ram thing. It might be different with your 650 or 550.
Oh yeah, the 650 had the tube, and then it was a disc at the bottom.
Yeah, no disc at the bottom of these things.
Yeah, it's like what do people call it? Like the dial on a 650.
I don't know. Yeah. No dial on mine anyways. It's just a little blue plastic nubbin in it, committed seppuku with another primer in there. So it's toast. So I need to just email Dylan and go, yo, check out all the things I broke. Send me new ones. Let's see what else I get to. This past weekend I did some camping. It was raining and cold the whole time, which is fairly standard for May long weekend, right? Right around 7 degrees and just raining the whole time. Beautiful. Loved it. Did a private cat pal course. Have a private pal course coming up this weekend. Have a pal course the weekend after. Pal course. And then I'm doing some 3-gun after that. So that'll be what I'm up to. Oh, and I forgot last week. I forgot to shout out listener Wayne from the last Maple Seed. He was out there. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Hi, Wayne.
Yep. I'm finding that most with PAL courses and Maple Seeds and that, there's at least one Slamfire listener at one of those things, which is kind of fun.
I always like to bring patches and different things.
Patches and stuff to give away to people who say they're listeners. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Video feed's not working. Yeah.
I'm just going to go check that out.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's about it for me. Tony.
No.
What about you?
Haven't been on the show for about half a year now. The last episode was 532, I believe. So my segment is going to run long since I guess the other hosts gave me time to do that. It's episode 556. I'm going to show off some of my 556 works, including guns and ammo. So let's go over 2 rifles first. Both of them division winner at BTSA Ipsc style rifle match, by the way. So on top is the Mossberg MVP Patrol in 223-556, was actually a 556 Mark barrel. It's my first rifle ever, and winner of the manual action bolt division at the first BTSA Ipsc style rifle match. I think I was ranked 3rd last place. So except DQs, I think. So the third last valid score. So it's not very fast, but that was a lot of fun. This rifle is also Maple Sea qualified as well, unlike my rimfire, which is unfortunate. On this side of the corner is the new-ish acquisition, the Troy PAR in 223, technically 556, as according to their website. Winner of the MAC, or the Manual Action Contemporary Division, at the rifle match this spring. When I met the champion couple we just mentioned on the range before the match, both of them are wondering what I'm going to pull out for this year. So I think I might gain the Weird Gun Tony title at the BTSA pretty soon. We'll see. Both times I was supposed to have competitions for the bow gun. It was like a competition of 3-4 deep, but in the end, none of them showed up. I was supposed to have manual competition, not contemporary. I don't think anyone's crazy enough to shoot a tube-fed lever gun. And maybe, I don't know, maybe someone will come out with a straight pull. I haven't seen that yet.
You win by acclamation, hey?
I don't know. There's just everyone heard Tony's name and they just ran away, which is very strange. So it always became a lone wolf game. But of course, Taylor can't let this guy get away with the division champion title a third time. So here's a direct quote from him. Based on attendance in the manual action bolt and manual action contemporary divisions, we will likely not be offering these again. So maybe I have to shoot my PCC next time. It's a little unfortunate, but it's what it is, right? Continue on the Canadian Reload podcast legacy, which I never listened to because I even still find that. I was looking for.
Oh, good luck.
I got some prepped 556 brass, a mixed variety I've picked up from the first rifle match. The second rifle match was too muddy. I actually didn't pick anything up. And I think this was a good score. They're all very shiny because I like my wet tumbling. These are Starline 556 brass. I don't know who left them behind. I have 20 of them. I also have some PPU. I don't actually know what kind of ammo this is. PPU 556. Interestingly, 556 marked, but not crimped. It does have primer sealant on it, which is a first for me. And of course, the old classic Lake City was the NATO marks on it. These are crimped, so you would need a crimp remover. I use a Lee swaging tool to start, and then I will smooth out the edges with a manual, basically primer pocket crimp remover to kind of smooth it out.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like reloading, so I don't mind it. Oh, a reloading tip for 9mm. You might want to chuck all your Norma brass because the flash hole seems to be undersized. It will still work. If your decapping pin is strong enough, it will just kind of enlarge it. But I don't think it's a great idea. It requires a lot of force on the downward stroke. Some other things, I did some 3D printing, just like Adriel did, and I created this. This is kind of the same picture as this, but plastic, but not really. So these are the GI style stripper clips and the spoon. If you buy the Winchester clip pack, they'll give you one of these, or some of the 420 shots big crates, they'll give you one as well. The 3D printed ones actually work with this. This is the Ruag, Amotech, Norma, and so like a few subsidiary in the ammo business under Beretta's stripper clips, which is different than the Canadian plastic stripper clips, which uses a different guide. Apparently, I did some research on it. The idea is you take a magazine, you just kind of line it up and press it down without a spoon, but I haven't found that to work very well. I did on Thingiverse find this model of stripper clip guide, but it doesn't seem to work very well. So if you're on it, it doesn't work that well. So
yeah, I'd be concerned about the strength. PMC comes with the spoons as well.
Yeah,
or some of the PMC.
So I had my friend, because I suck at 3D modeling, I've designed it, as in provided a spec, and asked my friend to kind of modify this one. I have this one on Thingiverse. If you're on Discord, I'm going to post it on the Slamfire Discord so you can have one in case for some reason you have the Norma type stripper clips, and they work pretty well. There you go, 10 rounds. And in Canada, 10 rounds are good, right? I'm going to have a Gen 2 pretty soon, as in currently, if I'm pushing down, my thumb is just ramming against the lead, so I'm going to try to make it a cut. So I'll work a little bit better.
I wonder if there's a strip Lula model that you could print.
There is. Oh, that you can print? I don't think so. There is the strip Lula, which I believe accept all 3 types of stripper clips: metals, the Canadian more slim plastic ones, and the bulkier European style. But it's too much cost, and I only have. I actually bought these from SFRC on auction. I have like a bunch of them. I loaded all my ammo on stripper clips. Expansion.
That's how I have all my 223. I have it all on those, and I have like 1,000 rounds on those stripper clips.
I don't like these though, because they have a brass. The USGI ones, they have a brass-ish insert, and they don't really.
And it folds over. It folds over. It has like a little lip that folds over. Eventually, that fold over part breaks, though.
Breaks off, right? It's metal fatigue.
Yeah.
Expanding on the episode on shot timers 502, Tim and the host have mentioned the Range Tech timer. I'm gonna go on here. Here is a Glock magazine for size comparison. It's kind of cute. I've got it from Range View Sport, which I believe is the only Canadian retailers that had them. I was eyeing it for a long time, just because their shipping cost is kind of on the pricey side of things. I didn't have a lot of things to buy at the time. If I'm going to buy things, I'm going to buy a few things. They had 4 in stock for the longest time, and I got one of them. After that, they had 3 for a while. Now they're all gone. I'm not sure if they sold the 3 or what happened.
Those super cheap ones without a screen on them?
Correct. The TLDR is they're not very good. Let me elaborate. So the app works kind of poorly. When I first connected to it, there's the information page for the timer itself. There's the battery percentage remaining and the firmware versions. Both of them on my Pixel 7 is showing blank. I don't know why. And after that, I had some connectivity issues. It initially worked with my Pixel 7. I can trigger it. And then for some reason, it just stopped working. It says it's connected, but I can't trigger to start either on the timer itself. They have a blue button here. I'm not going to turn it on because it's going to be loud. Or on the phone app, I just can't trigger to start. I tried my older phones, also Android. That still didn't work. Then I pulled out my iPad mini. The app worked okay. But now I have to pack one extra thing to the range. After a while, it started to work on Android again, but the app version was still the same, so I'm not really sure why. I had a support ticket going. They were kind of responsive. As in, they got back to me pretty soon, but the only solution they offer was to refund me the thing, but at that point, I haven't told them I'm Canadian yet. So I don't know how that's going to work out.
What if you 3D printed a belt clip for your iPad so you can just put that on your waist?
Now I have a holster, my Mac pouches, my iPad, and a timer. Oh god! What if you need to train for 3-gun and you have shot shells?
You're out of space. Totally out of space.
I don't know. We are not as fortunate as Kyle there. Like the whole stick is 27 rounds. Just every time, just looking at a sad stick of 10. Whole bunch of space, 10 rounds. And I think it relies on the Bluetooth host, the smartphone you're connected to do some computing. When you're triggering the start, it can actually be delayed. It doesn't matter if you're triggering from the timer, which you think it's just a button, but it's not. It's thinking about it. Or if you trigger it on a host device, the delay seems to be pretty similar. And it's not very loud. And you can't adjust it. and the sensitivity isn't very good. So for PCC, I'm pretty much maxed out on the sensitivity, and it will pick up shots pretty reliably. But if I'm tapping on timer itself, it will also register shot.
So how close do you have to be to the PCC for it to pick it up?
I was trying a few things. It doesn't seem to be consistent. That's the problem. Sometimes I can tune the sensitivity way up, as in way less sensitive. It will still pick up shots, but sometimes it just wouldn't. Sometimes when I have it on the belt, it will pick it up. Sometimes I'm doing the RO thing. My friend's shooting a PCC, for example, it wouldn't pick it up. So I don't really know. That's kind of the answer. I haven't tested it on much on a pistol yet, just because I don't have one. But so I would say it's not a very good club timer for personal use. Maybe if you like to tinker with things. On the same budget, the one Adriel has, the Pack 3, went on sale. I think it's probably still the best deal. It's not much more expensive. I want to say the pack is what, 100 and some Canadian at Cabela's. This is like $80 and not free shipped, so it's kind of whatever. The pack is very reliable. You press the go button, you just go for it.
Not on sale is $250, but on sale it must be like $160.
Yeah, I thought it's like one something.
Like
I thought it's like around $150 or below that.
Wow.
So
yeah, like I like the Pocket Pro too.
How much are those? Those are like $300. I want to say they're more expensive.
When I bought mine, it was just over $100.
Oh,
Back
really?
in my day, it was $100. Old man Kyle.
So
Okay.
I don't know what it is now, but
I want to know because I was in the game very, very late. Back in 2018, how much is a case of 1,009 millimeters?
Midway is selling them for $150 right now.
That's US though.
Yeah, US.
And they don't ship to Canada. Do they?
On Amazon.
In Canada? Prime shipping?
Well, you can get .com as well. Currently unavailable.
Oh, yeah. Like I don't know. A lot of from what I see, a lot of shooting related stuff on Amazon.ca is just kind of disappearing. There's this like item unavailable at the moment. That's what I see.
Tony, I got 4,000 rounds of aluminum case. Oh, sorry, 2,000 rounds of aluminum case, 9mm for $400, $200 per 1,000.
Wow. It's aluminum. It's funny because aluminum isn't cheap anymore these days. They're like
it's not
slightly more expensive.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Okay, so Canada Shooting Supply has the Bluetooth version for $290.
It's not too bad, but still expensive.
That's for the Bluetooth. So
I guess for you training yourself, it's not strictly necessary, but I know the Practice Score, there's a training app for that. It's pretty handy.
Yeah. And just the non-Bluetooth, Wild West has it for $195. Or when they have it in stock, that's how much they have.
Oh, all the prices are so outdated these days, especially for like things they haven't gotten for a while.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I completed my black badge training, so now I'm a card-carrying member of Ipsc Alberta-ish. This is the copy of my certificate of completion, so I don't actually have the card yet. I don't know if they're gonna give you a pin anymore. It used to be. From what I know from my friend, you have a pin of an Ipsc target. It's black. And so that's, I guess, the black badge part of it. But I don't know if they're still going to give me one. No, it'd be pretty cool if they did. But of course, we'll talk more about that later.
I never got a card. I got the pin, but I never got the card.
Really?
I never got a card either.
Yeah, interesting.
Hey, Tony, that $400 for 2,000 rounds was June of 2020.
Wow.
That wasn't even before COVID.
Well, June of 2020 is like, well, it's kind of middle of COVID, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a good price. I don't know. To me, ever since I got into the game, like $400 a case is considered as okay. And then price kind of went downhill over time to like, I think stabilizing at around $350, $330 kind of thing, which is considered a good deal. But of course, reloading press, much better, more better.
Cheaper. Yeah. Now the primers are down. Yeah.
Yeah, the Giant primers are what? $80 is pretty standard. You can get them
Super
like
sale,
lower
like
than that.
$65.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
pricing.
I'm
I
curious
know-
what you guys are seeing for prices on CCI.
Last I know, Cabela have them for 13, and that's per 100, I think.
Yeah, like per thousand.
So
I know like
so you
1,000
can
down
buy
here
10,
right now is 125 US.
That's
Cool.
surprisingly, I
that's
think, more
disgusting.
expensive than. Huh. Is there no cheaper? Well, I guess Gamma is higher, but I don't know if there's no cheaper primer out there.
Federal's
I think the
$13.99.
Gen X would be
Yeah.
the
Remington.
cheapest.
Remington's $109 per 1,000.
For sale? Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's right now at Tanda.
good. Remington CCI, pretty similar stuff, though. I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't really care for pistol primers. Is whatever goes bang. I don't give a shit. I put Cam Pro, I put Remington, I put CCI, whatever's cheap goes
That's
in there.
because you don't shoot revolvers.
I don't shoot revolvers and I don't hunt. I think if I hunted with a revolver, I might like load up that thing. So I don't even know if I'd care because that would be close enough. Like I'm going to be within 50 yards. I want maximum power probably. I don't know if I care about accuracy at that point.
From what I learned from Steel Challenge, if you're shooting double action revolver, which you are for Steel Challenge, Federal would be the most preferred just because they're the softest primer available.
Yeah.
And you can actually tune your trigger weight down for a better pull weight.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't experienced that, and Lee pretty much tells you don't use like Federal primer.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood. I haven't blew up my press yet. I do.
Well,
have
I hope you
experience,
wouldn't.
Yeah, surprisingly, I've crushed a few primers with the old beat system. That one wasn't very good, but the new one actually runs pretty all right.
Cool.
Excellent. You've been busy, man.
Well, that's like freaking 25 weeks. Not what I did last week. So.
Yeah, no, but you've been busy, so congratulations on the successes you've had and also, your certification. So
thank you.
Well done.
It's not that hard.
It's what did you just say? What did I hear?
It's not that hard.
The black badge?
Yeah, just shoot everything.
Yeah,
You'll be fine. You don't have to run.
The black badge is not easy, especially if you're somebody who doesn't shoot a lot. People have to prep
it's just
for
because I shot a PCC for a year and I have a basic grasp on how this works.
You've been shooting Ipsc style competition. So when you get into it, everything makes sense, right? For someone else, you'd be like, oh, this is stupid. Why do I have to do this? Why can't I just like pull the rifle out the back of my car and just, muzzle up? That's not, that's not cool. No, not at this thing. Okay.
Yeah. For a new person to competition, they get to their first match and they're confused because
yeah.
Insert clip. Anyway, I start blasting.
Anyways, I started blasting. Cool. Anything else?
That's everything for me.
Awesome. Let's get on to upcoming events. I've got some 3-gun matches coming up. Which ones do we got that are coming up right away here? June 1st, Chaz. They're going to be running a match in the Edmonton area. June 7th, Canadian Multigun. That'll be at Guelph. Also, June 9th, CDTSA will be running theirs at Milo. June 15th is the Sherwood Park and Fishing Game Multigun team match. 15th and 16th. Yeah, both those days. And then June 22nd will be the Mighty Peace 3-gun. So that's what's upcoming here. Kelly, you gonna read the Maple Seed events, or is that gonna be me?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's gonna be me.
Yeah,
I just did that Chaz one recently here. Lone Butte is this weekend, May 26th. There's still openings there. May 31st will be Nova Scotia AMA. I wonder if I can open that one. I should probably send an email for Maple Seed. Hey, open some of these things up.
Yeah, so the AMA, I think Rick's been handling that. So I think
I'm just gonna email it. I don't care. I'll just get an email and
Go
put
for
over.
it.
Yeah, just do all the stuff. Peace
do.
River, that'll be June 8th. I'm going to be there. Register for that thing if you're like in,
Hey.
I don't know, northwestern Alberta.
Who's doing the Kananaskis shoot on the
Kananaskis,
same date?
that'll be Tom.
Cool.
Tom and Steve, maybe. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, Tom's going south. I'm going north.
Weird. I'm sending you guys both an email tonight.
That's
why
honest. Okay. All right.
No. Yeah. The reason
I got
asked
your
is because
hat
there's-
and shirt. The hat and shirt you sent arrived today.
Oh, that's the other thing that I sent out to everybody. I sent guns to people. I just sent shirts to Edmonton, and then I sent shirts and stuff to
Just mailing
New
maple seed stuff all over the place.
Brunswick, and a gun to someplace else. It may or may not have been a gun, just saying. But it arrived safely in
Very good.
Canada.
House is way too expensive in Canada. Jesus.
No kidding, right? It's almost cheaper to buy a gun and where you are. And just
Yeah, we should do that. June 1st is National Range Day, or National PAL Day for me. PAL Course Day.
You are helping with that, so thank you
I'm
very
helping.
much. You're
That's
helping.
a bad strategy.
It's
That's a
terrible
bad
strategy. Yeah,
You
because they're
should
going to
ask
spend all
everyone
day.
to go to the range first, and then on day 2, invite everyone back to do your PAL course.
Yeah,
But he's
that
going to
would
be doing
Range-
the PAL course at the range.
Range day should be
Now you're
morning.
missing out on the
Have
fun.
range day, and in the afternoon, have lunch, and then transition them right into the PAL course.
You guys know the PAL course is 8 hours of training minimum, and then
Yeah, I know.
testing afterwards. It's like 10 hours minimum. So to
Yours is
try to
what-
fit
yours
that
is
in and the
10?
shooting,
I like
it has to be 8 hours of instruction and then testing on top of that. The 8 hours
Yeah.
is minimum. That's federally mandated. You can't avoid that. All you can do is make the written test faster. You can't do that. Everyone writes it at the same time. And then practical tests, if you have like more than 2 instructors, you can make that part go faster. But everything else is just it's gonna be a long day. Anyways, yeah.
Correct.
June 1st, I have a long day. None of them are even going to be able to get out soon enough to enjoy National Range Day. They just miss it entirely.
Oh, yeah, don't do that again.
I
Every
think I
weekend
picked my
before.
dates before they picked the National Range Day.
It's
the
always the
first
same
weekend
day.
in June.
Always
It's the
the
first
same
Saturday
day.
of June.
You guys are expecting me
Hello?
to remember way too much.
That's like
This
the
is the
most
first-
important holiday for gun owners. What are you talking
First of
about?
June and that one, and then my 3-gun matches are this day and that day. Anyways, ORA is running a short practice day at Borden. It'll be on practice score May 25th and 26th. Nothing to mention for PALs because they're all full.
That's this weekend, by the way.
Yep.
Amendment to order to OIC amnesty order.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I saw
it was
that.
just
I understand
adding
it.
some verbiage in there allowing businesses to transport the guns they prohibited for destruction and whatnot, basically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There was another piece of news about the mag. Like LeBlanc was saying, like, "Oh yeah, people won't be able to own mags after we ban them," and that's all he said.
What?
It was a longer quote, but that's the gist of it. Is that after they put that OSC, you're not going to be grandfathered. You won't be grandfathered in the magazines. Once they're banned, they're banned. You don't get to have them anymore.
I really don't get that part because they're so concerned about 3D printed guns. It's like guns are more complicated than a magazine.
No, it's
You're
Canada.
not-
You're not allowed information. period.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
spring is not a prohibited device. Printing
And a
a
box isn't a prohibited device. No,
I don't know.
I'm not going down that path.
No.
New gun stuff is brought to you by Bullseye North. Need a new boomstick? Bullseye North is Canada's shooting superstore and a proud supporter of the CCFR with a wide selection of guns and top trending gear for any shooter. Free shipping over $250. Some exclusions apply. They have $17 flat rate shipping for orders below $250. Subscribe to their weekly newsletter to get first access to the hottest deals. And I forgot entirely to look up what they had that was new this week. That Carbo is from last week, isn't it? I updated everything else, and I didn't update the Bullseye North one.
You know what?
They
I'm
always
just gonna
have
look.
best prices on
They have a
Empire.
couple guns. They have a Daria TM22.
Ooh, 10% off.
500
Oh,
or
10% off
40
like everything, right?
Yeah, it's $540. They have one left, and the sale ends today.
Yeah, they
Uh,
If you notice, their sales always typically end on Thursdays, right? They start
505. That thing is so ugly. Oh my god.
There's your tactical lever action. It's all the rage. It's all
Uh,
the
They
some-
have the
rage.
semi-auto as well for
Yeah,
20
only-
bucks more.
Only a mother would love that. Oh, that one too.
But lever gun's usually more expensive though. So get that lever gun.
They have Diana air rifles. Oh, they had a really cheap one that we talked about the other day, and I was like, I want to get one of those. They like a high speed one, 575. What else? Just a second, I'm gonna fly this over here. 575, 1150
Ooh.
FPS. Oh, that's $1,000 though. That's a bit too
Wow.
buku for me. I swear they had like a high speed one that was like $150. Is it this one? Brake barrel. I don't know.
I saw
There's
like,
755 FPS for $170. These are repeating. This is what I was using my chaser over the weekend, and it's got this same magazine bolt action style to it. It was fun. Lots of fun to shoot.
Look at that grip. Competition ready.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Frontier Firearms. Oh, looks like they're sold out of those. Never mind. Pretend you see nothing. True North Arms is running a pre-order on non-restricted FN PS90s. These are like the P90s, but with a longer barrel, non-restricted. These are $2,000 deposit. That's a pre-order deposit only. Comes with a shroud on it, and TNA is selling a bunch of other PS90 stuff along with these things. And come on, show me some of the parts.
Aren't they going to be more popular if it's just restricted? Like the proper legs. I know
maybe
people in the States keep going like, I'm going to buy a PS90. I'm going to make it SVR. It's like,
they have an M-Lock forend. What the hell is that? Look at this thing.
Whoa. Oh,
Just
my
interesting.
Get that
dreams
second
are all
picture.
gone now.
What? That's looking like the F2000 kind of a thing. What else they
There's
got
only
here?
one proper way to grip on a P90. Come on.
Extended charging handle. Cheek riser. Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Hmm.
What else they got here? TNA. Oh, another cheek riser. Huh?
How much are the mags going for?
5-round magazines.
Well, that's the thing.
72
Like,
bucks.
you can't even get a pistol version magazine for that. So you're 5-round mags.
So your FN one is 120 and your Pro Mag one is $73. $72. Huh. Man, they sell a bunch of stuff for that thing. Cool. Anyways, that's kind of neat. I Run Guns has brought in a bunch more Canadian rifle magazines for the AR, AK, etc. Let's see what the prices are like on these things. A 3-pack of Ruger 1022 mags for $40 US. That's got to be the cheapest in Canada.
Yeah.
That seems cheap to me.
Yeah.
P mags for $13 US. Lancer mags for $17 US. Ruger BX 25s. Those are pointless here right now. Got some clear AR mags. Chris Vector 22 LR mags. 308 AI style mags and AK 47 mags for $13. That's a cheap AK mag.
Yeah.
What was this $10 one?
Have the transparent Magpul mags yet.
They had the transparent
ETS.
Lancer one, but look at this ETS Air 15 mag, 30 rounds, $10 US. Pin to 5, of course.
Why do you want the 30 round though?
Because they're
body.
standard length. They're standard length, so they fit like your chest rig and all that kind of stuff.
Is 20
But yeah,
round
5
not going to be long enough?
It's not as
they're
nice.
shorter. I have some 20s. Yeah. To be honest, though, if I'm competition, I'm running a couple 10s because that's just way more ammo in a better space. Yeah.
Support Canadian industry, cross-mag industries.
Yeah. What else we got here? So Tenda's brought in some more Hunt Group shotguns. They got a whole bunch of different kinds of them. So let's just go take a look at some of those. These are your standard Turkish shotguns. Does this work? How do I go to next?
Arrow keys works best.
Yeah, arrow keys.
Yeah.
XRP law defense. Is that to defend yourself against the law? Looks like it. Sold out of those though. MX2 looks like a Benelli clone.
Yeah, for $530.
$529. Mobile choke,
Ghost ring
law
sights, though.
defense. MX4. There's a M4 clone. Another M4 clone. It's stainless.
Mm-hmm.
Another M4, M4, M4. All the ones on here, this page are M4 clones. Tube, mag tube fed semi. What is going on with this thing? What is this?
Oh,
Why does it look weird?
Quick change mag tube?
Oh, yeah, it's the changeable
Okay.
mag tube. That's why. Oh.
Like a Russian Bison, you change a tube mag on the bottom. Well, that's not tube mag, but idea stands.
Change the tube mag. Spare two mags.
How do you want?
So,
Interesting.
in 3-gun, is this mag fed?
It's detachable. Oh, yeah.
Detachable mag fed. It's detachable mag fed.
That's true.
I don't want to be the RO for the first person that shows up and says it's a tube fed shotgun and then starts swapping.
If you look at the wording, it's detachable mag.
Yeah.
I don't want to drop this on the ground though.
How many rounds does it hold?
5.
4.
Oh.
4 in the tube. This seems like not as fast as a quad load. Well, interesting though. They got the mag, like stick mag with a semi-auto. Yeah, those ones. Perfetto. I don't know if I want to spend $1,100 on Turk shit over unders, but okay. Perfetto engraved. The double barrel shotgun. Is that over under double barrel? Man, those guys are smoking the good stuff. What the fuck is this?
What the heck?
What? Is this like the standard manufacturing
No,
two barrel two tube?
No,
It says double barrel pump action shotgun. It says it right here.
So it must be.
I know I've seen these, but they're side by side. It must be side by side, and we just see the mag tube underneath. Right? So. Mag tubes underneath, barrel on top for ×2. That's got to be what it is. $930.
Double tap into one trigger pull.
That's a bit too much for a meme gun, in my opinion. Okay. Let's see. We've also got the Kestrel KST 1000 shot timer at the shooting center.
How much?
Oh, if you have to ask. $419.
Ooh.
But it's Kestrel.
Rich. It is.
Oh, it's got 2 screens. It's got one on the front and one on the top.
Oh God. How much was the MDT again?
The MDT shot timer? It was less than that.
Get that. Support Canadian industry.
I don't want the video. I don't want the app.
I don't want the
app. This one, right? Dominion Outdoors. Okay. $359. Yeah.
Get MDT. I would think.
Yeah, Kestrel.
Saskatoon Gunworks has a new shipment of Polymer 80 and Apex Tactical. So they have some P80 slides, Glock 17, Glock 19, P80, and they have some Apex Tactical as well. Armorer's tools, Gen 5 Glock tools, G48 trigger kits, and more. Which their slides. $419.
Remember what Tony said. They might not run at 10+1.
$239. $239. What do they got for Apex Tactical? What kind of? They have a better Glock 48 trigger. And this is too many to look at. I'm not going to bother.
I said that aloud.
Italian Sporting Goods has some trail fare Canadian-made freeze-dried food for camping or fallout.
It is very Italian. We should get Mo on the show. He'll be a good judge for this.
142 grams. Is this good? How much is that? How much is like a mountain house? $19. How many calories is this? They need more information on these things.
That sounds like not enough food.
I don't know. Maybe it is. You add water.
It's enough for one person.
I think so. But I like to know how many
trail
calories are in them. Yeah.
I throw it in my pack because you never
throw
know.
In your pack? I
Yeah,
have it for
I've
camping and that kind of thing sometimes.
yeah, I throw some just in the trailer or in my pack because you never know. Always prepared.
One is none
They
and two is one, and put some freeze dried food in your vehicle. Where'd you put it, Kelly? Gun pack?
trailer,
Trailer.
trailer, and backpack.
Mm.
I should put them in my vehicle along with my
Health kit?
well,
Trauma kit?
I was going to say my socks, which I use as mitts, and my snuggie, which I use as well. And then I bring my Keurig with me to shoots. So I'm just
Too
kidding.
fancy.
I know, right?
Keurig.
These are thrown in my emergency kits.
I have a crate called my borrow a vehicle crate. They have my pack of basically changing clothes, toothbrush, things like that.
Yeah.
So I got a delivery here, Adriel. So the Mountain House, is 118 grams.
Okay, so this other one's got
That's
a bit
pretty
more, right?
similar, then.
Yeah, like this is not bad. Like that's dry weight. So I mean, it actually, like that says it's 2 servings, which is, we all know, less than a serving, but about a serving.
If you want to pig out, it's 1 serving. It's 1 person.
They're always 1 person. If 2 people try to eat that, you wouldn't be fed.
I've tried. So I had one where it was like 800 calories, and I could only eat like 2/3 of it, and I can power down like a lot of food.
Yeah, this is 480 calories for.
Yeah, that's 1 person.
Yeah.
It's high salt. It's
little.
high carb.
Oh yeah.
It's just high.
Good when you're out and about and
Is it
exercising.
480 for 1 serving or 2?
Hmm?
It might tell you on the back. It's a 480 for the whole thing, or
Yeah, 480 for the whole thing.
That's not a lot then. Freaking 240. How do you survive on that?
Well, it's 1 meal. Like
1 meal. You should be eating 3 plus snacks
Still,
as well.
still low though. Even if you ate 3,
13 bars.
it's still only 1,500. You should have 2,000.
So on Facebook, we got Russ is saying most places don't need PAL for the range day. Yeah, if you want to go to the range day, you don't need a PAL. Match pre-fit barrels are 50% off at Get Outlier. I haven't found that website before. Getoutlier.com.
We have a bot in the Twitch chat again.
Oh yeah, I've already
it's
taken
bot.
care of it.
Yep.
It seems to be more commonplace these days.
What's
At first
Outlier?
it hit us, but then it's been pretty quiet. This is the first one in a long time that we've had on there. So.
Oh, this is a US only. This Outlier place. Outlier USA. What else we got here? That's about it. Why don't we get into the main topic? Tony, take it away.
Sounds good. So I'm doing a topic as a student, me, taking a black badge in 2024, and I'll get into the nuance a bit later. Things kind of changes over time. Last time Slamfire Radio talked about black badge was 463 July 2022, right before the handgun freeze actually went into effect. And I believe at the time there's still some pistols available on the market. John, now the director of Ipsc Ontario, was on the podcast, and one of the loud messages was, if you want to shoot Ipsc, get your club on board, make your club Ipsc club. From where I am in the region would be South Central Alberta region, Calgary region, basically. There isn't a lot of black badge refugees, as John have mentioned, would be the case in Ontario. Kananaskis, BTSA are both Ipsc clubs. I'm not sure about CDTSA, but they're more known for their 3-gun action. But also, you don't need to be a member of the Ipsc club to shoot Ipsc matches. So if you're a CDTSA member, come out and shoot. The situation is a little bit different now as C21 and the pistol handgun freeze ban has went into full effect. To quote Ipsc Alberta, when you don't own a pistol, the first option and the only option in Canada now is to borrow a handgun from a friend. That's what I did.
Yep.
Second and third option are to shoot pistol caliber carbine, PCC, or shotgun. We'll be focusing on PCC as it has become much more popular in the last few years. Only qualification to join the fund is the PCC Black Badge that will be rolled out in the winter of 2023/2025. I'll get to that later. The regular Ipsc Black Badge will allow you to shoot PCC, but the PCC Black Badge will not allow you to shoot handgun matches unless you upgrade to the full Black Badge. The wording has been confusing for a while, and they've been talking about a PCC Black Badge for more than a year. So,
did they really separate the two of them?
They did. And
I could see I could see why you'd want to have a PCC Black Badge, so you can get people in, and the expectation is you bring a PCC. But
Yeah.
I wonder why they don't allow. Like, okay, so let's fast forward like 2 years, and we get access to handguns again. I can't see why like a PCC shooter who's been active in Ipsc for 2 years couldn't just go buy a handgun and start shooting Ipsc handgun. Like most of the rules around in the Black Badge are like it's around like rule following and like how you can move up or down range with a handgun. It's going to apply for PCC. Yeah, a little bit different, but not much different.
Here's my guess. Here's my training aid. I guess I can't really unload and show Claire, but I'm guessing they're afraid of you drawing a gun like this.
Okay.
So far, it's separated. I'm not sure where the 2025 number came from. I'm pretty sure PCC Black Badge has been confirmed for the summer of 2024. At BTS, I believe Konstantin Z is his last name. Would be the only instructor doing it so far. I haven't seen the other instructors.
Ken Hum out of Edmonton is also going to be teaching that as well. Now, with the PCC Black Badge, I'm curious, is it just PCC or is it a long gun Black Badge?
That's the part I'm gonna touch on. So far, I'm unaware of PCC shotgun or any Ipsc shotgun action in Alberta.
Well, no, we tried. There isn't, but there's still. I mean, they still do the Ipsc shotgun nationals that they still require you to have a Black Badge for. So, I mean, if we're rolling out PCC, it would make sense to me to make it a long gun Black Badge and then a pistol Black Badge if they still want to hold to the Black Badge system.
I would.
Why though? So Kyle, they let you go from a handgun to a shotgun?
Yeah,
it's not safe. That's not safe. You should have had to do a separate Ipsc. You should have to do a separate Black Badge for that one.
Well, believe me, they were already talking about that at that time too.
Oh fuck, Jesus!
I'm
going to tell those guys like it's a safety course on how to shoot Ipsc. That's it. It's not a gun. Like the fact you're doing with a handgun is just because that's what you're shooting it with.
Yeah.
And if you were going to do a course for shotgun or a course for PCC or a course for handgun, the course should be set up for that. But the qualification should be good for all of them. Like, who cares about the differences?
I think it's just the emphasis. I don't agree with it, but I think it's just the emphasis on holster because that's kind of the nuance. For PCC, you're going to be in a modified, I don't even know how to say a high or low ready. It's like horizontal ready. Your gun.
Well, it's not like, modified. You're just at buttstock, patching belt.
Yeah, it's like spearing. Well, bayonet start, and then you raise the gun, kind of thing. Also, safety check.
But like, there's different things to look out for with PCC. Yeah. Oh, if you're going left down range and you got your gun cross body, you break 90, you're DQ'd, right? There's different things to teach.
Well,
but they let them go from pistol to rifle or shotgun, but not the other way around. I don't think that's right. There shouldn't be separate classes.
No, I don't think there should be a Black Badge, period.
I don't mind the idea of a Black Badge because it makes it so that when someone shoots their first match, they don't get immediately DQ'd, which I'm sure happens at USPSA somewhat often.
Yeah.
How do I say? That was my viewpoint to start, but after I went through the whole Black Badge process, after seeing what my classmates were doing, there were three. Let me put it straight. There were 3 DQs out of the 11 people course at Black Badge.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So here's what depending on where you are, I know that Ipsc in Ontario is very pistol oriented. There's not a lot, and they are transitioning into PPC because we have to, right? If not, we're dead in the water. No shotgun whatsoever. So, but I think out west, there's more matches that you can do pistol, you can do shotgun, and you can do PPC. But it's dependent. The black badge courses we have here are all pistol.
You keep referring to the People's Party of Canada, not Pistol Caliber.
Oh, PCC. I know. Sorry.
I was thinking pay-per-click. I was thinking digital marketing.
Also,
it's an acronym for work too. So I'm going, oh shoot.
Well,
literally.
Police pistol competition as well.
Yep.
Fair. Also,
but everything is also interrelated too. If we wanted to get political, but Patrick's one of our match directors at FRPC. He says Ipsc in the UK is separate courses for rifle, shotgun, and mini rifle, which is 22 LR.
Yeah, the UK would do that because
we're not
the UK fucking loves all the rules that they can put on. We're mini UK.
We were a part of the UK, so
UK light.
Say more.
We're more Australian and New Zealand right now. Just saying.
I'm going to answer the question right now because I think it's going to be asked later. Carbine or carbine?
Oh, Jesus, I'm leaving.
I say carbine because that's how the phonetic translation is in Chinese. So I just carried it over. I'm sorry, but I say turbine. I know it's really weird, but it's kind of too late.
Both pronunciations
you don't say
are
turban?
No, that sounds wrong. Just sound wrong.
That's what they said on a plant. I was on a work plant, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you gotta there's the pressure for the turbine." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Turbo pressure?
Turbine. Yes. INE. Depends on who you're talking about. Same thing. You can have the same discussion about lever or lever.
Lever.
Yes.
So it's carbine, carbine. It's wherever you are. Tomato, tomato. It's the same thing.
Tony, we're way off topic.
At this time, I am unaware.
PCC. Let me read. Just back up
PCC,
a little bit. It's PCC. I've just negated it. All the.
That's where
PPC.
we were.
There you go.
There we go.
At this time, I'm unaware of a black badge upgrade program. Again, from what I understand, Ipsc in Canada is kind of slow. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go black badge so I can shoot the nationals in Kamloops. It's not too far away. Even jumping onto the first black badge course in BTSA, I'm still like a month late.
Yeah,
so to speak. It'll be very interesting to see what PCC Black Badge has to offer, just because the whole movement thing, that's kind of a big focus on day 2 of the course, which I'll get to. And for a lot of us, we'll be shooting freaking 19-inch barrel whole rifles here. Of course, the champion, the gamers, has switched to restricted length nowadays, which seems to work pretty well for them. It's also just overall lighter. So I was fortunate enough to borrow a pistol, and I thought, I'm going to future-proof myself. I'm going to borrow a pistol to shoot it. Is that the best idea? Probably not, because I'm not learning a lot about PCC shooting, but I kind of learned from Taylor a bit. So it's kind of
He's a good person to learn from.
Yeah, kind of a good mix. Kind of catches speed, though. Just like every time I look at practice scores, it's just depressing. I might sidetrack again. I mentioned a long time ago I'm gonna get a KSG, Caltech KSG for stop bore shooting. I guess for 3-gun it still works, but apparently for Ipsc shotgun, there's a rule against manual division have multiple tubes. So
you wouldn't want to reload that thing anyways.
I know. I'm just gonna load it to the full 25. I'm never gonna reload. I'm just going to go for it.
It's gonna suck on a 28-round stage.
I can manage 3 reloads. Come on, flip it over.
A couple of throwing knives on your belt, good to go.
I asked Taylor if I could use the bayonet on the rifle match. He said no. And he
No.
also canceled the surplus division. So there was a competitor shooting an M1 carbine with 5-round magazines. That was depressing.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was depressing. Okay, so to structure this whole thing, I'm going with a 5W1H. So summary on what Black Badge is. I'll elaborate on what is about later. It's a training certification course for becoming a full Ipsc member in Canada. If you were a member of good standing in another country, for example, if you just moved to Canada, you may be exempt from the Black Badge course. Contact your sectional coordinator for more information. Sections for Canada would be provinces. USPSA in the US section could be like multiple states. When and where in Alberta the courses schedule can be found on Ipsc Alberta's website. Some are also listed on Practice Score, so you can find them there as well. Who and why? Maybe you want to go official with Ipsc. Maybe there isn't enough club matches for you to shoot, and you want to drive out a little bit more to find more matches. Maybe you want to get a classification and compare how you do against other shooters in the long run. That's one of my motivations, or maybe it's a requirement for something else. It is a widely recognized holster course in Canada. For example, Summer Brutality, the pistol rental Black Badge is one of the accepted credential certifications for you to be eligible to borrow a pistol. And for some reason, USPSA now, at least at BTSA, requires a Black Badge course to shoot USPSA matches as well. For your range, I believe this is probably more Ontario-based. It may be a good to have. For BTSA, there isn't a holster certification required to have a holster pistol on our range, but maybe for your range, a Black Badge would act as a certification for you.
It depends.
It's up to the individual range whether they're going to accept it or not.
But
so
kill two birds with one stone, right? I'm going to take my Black Badge and go everything.
So, for example, you're talking about for Alberta, or sorry, Ontario. At our club, we allow holsters, which is something that other clubs do not, which is ridiculous. Just going to say that. However, in order for you to be able to holster your pistol, you have to go for the Club of ATT handgun course first. And then you have to be certified in holster. And certification in holster is somebody who is Black Badge certified and or an RSO certified. So at our club, in order for you to shoot by yourself with a holster, you have to be certified, or you have to have a holster check off, basically confirming that you're safe. And that's through somebody who is an RSO that has the Black Badge, basically. So it's dependent on, I'm one of those that can do that certification. Patrick, who's on here right now, he can do that too. So thank you, Patrick, for doing that. But it's dependent on the range. It's not required. But
at Wapiti, we would Black Badge was not an automatic. Okay, you can run a holster. It was up. There was only a few people who could actually authorize it, and it was a check off on your membership.
Yeah.
So for one, you had to be a member of the range. You couldn't be just a day use.
Yeah.
And then it was at the discretion of basically a handgun director. I was one of the people who could authorize it. There was only 3 people who could authorize it, and either they would assess you, and either you had to take the holster course, or they'd be okay, you're good to go. But it wasn't automatic.
This is overly complicated. I think you just need a short checklist. Do you own a holster? That's it.
Yeah. People are very concerned about liability if people do something.
I have fortunately, the 3 DQs we had are all on, well, not quite tacticality, but it's not overly unsafe, I want to say.
Ammo in safe area?
No.
Oh,
not that. Not that simple. It's all shooting stages. Actually, all
breaking 90, pointing at the
90.
RO. You're on my gun.
Oopsie doodle. I dropped my gun.
I guess I'll
And-
skip to that first.
Sure.
I don't remember what the third one was, but one of them was movement on while having the trigger on the finger on the trigger. I saw that. Another one is a break 90 due to being too close to the barrier. So that's
so they got hooked on the barrier and
just pushing right through, right?
Tough
So
shit.
no one has shot. The rule was within 3 meters of themselves, or
that's extremely
something
rare
like-
to see.
Yeah, that I'll be really concerned. Good thing that didn't happen. I survived. Everyone survived. So that's something, I guess. Actually, question for Kelly. I know we're going. My mind is just going everywhere. Do you see a decline of people trying to have a club level ATT just because there is no more new handgun owners anymore?
We're still doing just as many. And the reason is because our club has a longer wait list and people are still getting in that were owned handguns prior to C21. So yeah, we're still doing them and we're planning to still continue to do them until there are no more people who don't have handguns, I guess. But we're hoping that will change in the near future, very near future.
I'm hoping.
Mm.
I'm hopeful.
But I am seeing a decline in. I know John Evers, very good by the way for the research that you've been doing. John Evers, who was on, he was the president of Ipsc, Ontario, and he was indicating that he'll continue, or Ipsc, Ontario would continue to run courses. There's been a decline a little bit with what I'm seeing, especially from Eastern Ontario side of things. And it's because there's not as many people, I guess. So I was hoping that we would see PCC Ipsc courses, but I haven't seen any. Patrick, do you want to speak to that? Have you seen any? Patrick recently became a match director, as I said, but also Ipsc, Ontario RSO certified, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Have you seen anything recently with PCC? You should probably I wonder if he's still listening. I don't know. Anyways, that's just my observation. Yeah, that's just my observation. Where there's not as many courses, and we have to go a little further for them.
I'm actually surprised how many Shadow 2s was on the line. I was like, you have a Shadow 2, you never shot Ipsc.
Very popular pistol.
Maybe I'm just biased. So
well, so if you didn't shoot anything and you're like, hey, I gotta buy a handgun, and you asked one of your handgun buddies, what I can only buy one. What handgun should I buy? They would say get a Shadow 1 or Shadow 2. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's because it's one better.
Patrick, thank you. Thank you for listening. He said that it's only in the talks for Ontario at the moment. So I think he's referring to the BCC. So that's where we're at.
I still need to show how I hold on to the Shadow 2. I just feel it's not very comfortable for me. I don't know.
Do you have small little hands?
Well, maybe. Glock mag for scale. There you go. So how and what is gonna where I'm gonna expand on. I'll start with what not for black badge. First, I'll say maybe don't take a black badge course. Go shoot a club level unsanctioned match and see what everyone's doing. If you're gonna be enjoying the sport and if you would like to go official, there's an argument of Ipsc is a professional sport and should be exempt like the Olympics. To be honest, I'm not overly optimistic on that argument. They said Ipsc, back in the day, they said Ipsc competitors will get full capacity magazine, and that didn't happen either. Here's a tip, though, because I missed on that. Subscribe to Slamfire Radio so you'll always be in the know on the latest changes in firearm regulations and policies. I did not listen to Slamfire Radio when I first got into firearms. Now I don't have a pistol. So there's a data point for you. Shooting sport is so diverse. We have bench rest loading their ammo right at the line with their specific single shot rifles, PRS shooting at multiple different positions to up to miles away, multi-gun shooting 3 guns on the same stage, and steel challenge racing against steel plates at like 7 yards for the quickest times. I don't think every sport will suit everyone. If you don't like running or freestyle kind of quick problem solving, you might not be a fan of Ipsc. And in today's economy, the cost around $300 to $400 is no small money, and you need to pay for the ammo on top of that. So if you took the course and decided that's not for you, that's kind of a waste where you can put the money to different
you fired some rounds off with some professional like instruction. It's not the worst waste, because like if you do a pistol course, they're like $200 a day.
That's true.
Yeah. So at least like, and the black badge isn't a pistol course, but you get some pistol shooting, and you get some like if your grip sucks, your instructor will tell you your grip sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
So the basic stuff is in there. That brings up to the second point. In my opinion, black badge is at a high level course. It's definitely not an intro course either, though. It's more of a beginner to intermediate course, I want to say. You should have a very good understanding of your pistol and all its functions. For example, as John has mentioned in the previous episode, if you have a DASA gun, a Shadow, for example, learn how to use the double action trigger. You would need to decock your pistol. That's a thing you need to do. Not you have to, because technically you can shoot cock and locked in standard. I guess that's an option, but you want to have the competitive edge when you get to it. If you have a decocker, learns how it works and how it affects manual safety, for example. We had a classmate on the line who is shooting an M93 decocker, a Beretta, but I believe he was putting the decocker on, and then now the safety is engaged, so when he draws,
he was unable. Yeah.
So, lastly, I think
he should just got another gun, because those
just throw that thing in the
garbage. Go ahead
and get a Shadow 2.
Or
Glock.
Yeah, the Shadow 2 where you have to hold your hammer as you decock.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that triggered me the most. For some reason, Ipsc says lowering your hammer to the half cock position is not okay, even if you don't have a decock. Why? Yeah. What's the point? Like, trigger pull is the same. Let me have the half cock.
Isn't it silly? The half cock would be great.
Yeah.
It's like lowering right onto it, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
You know what someone would do though? Someone would make a half cock that was like 90% cocked.
Yeah.
No, all you need to do is press it a little bit.
Yeah.
And fire.
Yeah.
But make a half cock that you still have the first pull weight, right? There's already a rule blanketing over it.
Yeah, but if it's right there, it wouldn't be near as much of a pull to break that.
Yeah,
I just pull through.
But the rule is your first pull has to be like what, 5 pounds for your first double action pull. So, is that really changing? I don't know
that.
Maybe it is. The last thing, which I think is the most important thing, finger placement. Don't get the habit of putting your finger at the wrong place, right? If you're starting to shoot, if you start shooting, movement with a loaded firearm can be a kind of foreign concept, because if you're just shooting in a line, right, you don't really move anywhere. It's a constant reminder, finger off the trigger. If you're moving, reloading, clearing malfunction, basically anytime you're not actively shooting at a target, finger off the trigger. I think it's very important for Ipsc, PCC, shotgun, rifle, pistol, doesn't matter. If you're
you get disqualified if you're moving and you got your finger in the trigger.
That's correct. But it's ergonomic in a sense, because guns are designed that way, but it got into my head pretty soon after my first Ipsc, club level match at a time. Just make sure your finger is really straight after you're done, so you wouldn't be hooked onto the trigger. That'll be good. It seems to be the most common DQ offense. Another one would be, as I mentioned, moving around the barrier, crowding the barrier, and then you're hitting the barrier, you broke 90. Or if you're trying to actively avoid that barrier, you're just intricately going backwards. So you don't want to do that. the experience I have would be the Black Badge course in May 2024 in Alberta. Every instructor does it a bit differently. Your experience will likely vary. It's usually a 2-day course. In my case, it's actually a 2-day course plus a classroom session. First, I would say get in touch with your Black Badge instructor. They will give you a rundown on how they instruct the program. In Alberta, you would need to become an associate member before taking the course. That's a recent change. Before, you just need to take the course and then become a member. The membership fee is $80. You don't have to pay it twice. If they will just upgrade you from the associate level to a full member after your Black Badge was confirmed and you passed. In the classroom, we cover a lot of things about Ipsc rules and the shooting basics, how to grip a pistol, keep your finger off the trigger, not crowding the barrier, for example. And we had an open book exam to write about, okay, what Ipsc rule cover on this, that, what's the DQ conditions, what's the penalties for example, stepping outside the foul line and shooting target in a particular way, what is legal for particular divisions and such. Next, I'll get into what equipment you need. Safety equipment, of course. I will highly, highly, highly recommend a set of active Air Pros. You can hear the instructions much better. If they were trying to tell you to stop, you would be able to hear that too. And you wouldn't be missing any learning opportunities. These aren't even that expensive anymore. I really like these cheapo Caldwell ones. They work pretty well for me for about 2 years now. Take AAA batteries. I've tried the razors. In my opinion, they sound really muffled, so I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
iPros, your standard ones will be fine for just shooting. If you're a hunting person, then you don't wear glasses, you will need a set of iPros. Working gloves. I never see instructors mentioning this, but if you are going to be moving barricades, wood, splinters, you don't want that. Steel plates, heavy, rusty, or like stands out, whatever. Also
covered in lead.
The more
too.
the lead,
too.
Yeah.
I don't want to tennis. I don't want wood splinters. My hands are wood splinter freaking magnets ever since I was young, so I'm just dead fear of them. So get your working gloves. So guns, you will need a pistol or PCC. Some pistols are not Ipsc legal. For example, the Tokarev, very popular, very cheap back in the day. Please see the Ipsc rulebook about that. Usually, 9mm Luger, Parabellum, and up would be fine. You can be finding out if you're shooting major, minor later on. It doesn't really matter at this point in time. Back in the day, you kind of get to pick a division and make a purchase. Nowadays, you're kind of stuck. So shout out to my friend Jack, who actually took the course, registered for the course before me. So I was like, okay, I have a friend registered. I got to go now. Okay. So he has a Polymer 80 Law Clone Gen 3 and a PSA Dagger. Both of them are USPSA production guns, but not on the production list for Ipsc. So he is shooting either standard, which is Ipsc USPSA limited, or open if you have optics on it. So not the greatest situation, but
no.
What do you do, right? So here's the one I used in the course, Show Claire. It is the Beretta APX A1 optics ready with a no black Doctor plate. It's a Chinese Amazon clone of the Vortex Viper Venom. The only pistol that I have is the Defender CCW, which is a RMSC pattern dot. So it's not my pistol, so I didn't change it out. And shout out to Vinny for lending me this gun for the audio listeners.
So I was just going to say for the audio listeners, Tony's holding up
guns. Because that gun is only back with Vinny because my ATT was going to expire yesterday, so I ran it back to him yesterday.
Awesome. Okay.
That's why.
Well, thanks to Vinny.
Yep. And something I need to mention, because Dave said something last week about I need to make better friends. Vinny is a great friend of mine, owner of the APX. He also has a Shadow 2, but I'll get to the holster later. It doesn't he is a lefty.
Oh,
I can't borrow his holster.
no, you can't.
So anyway, he asked me if I wanted to borrow that, and for some reason I don't shoot the Shadow 2 very well for a second. Just I don't have a holster that fits it. I thought about getting a double alpha holster, just an open holster, but
Somebody might have been able to let you borrow one though.
yeah, maybe I just need better right-handed friends. Anyway,
I got a question on divisions because I'm just actually going through the rule book here. I see they have a production optics light division, so that you can actually have a light on your production optics gun.
I don't
Do
believe
they
it's
have
in Canada yet.
But this is well, yeah, who knows? I was just wondering if they have talks of doing a standard optics. I know USPSA has the limited optics that came out this year, and
That's a good question. I don't think so. There's not a lot of standard shooters on the range anyway at BTSA. I don't know.
Well, your buddy that has the pistol, he's either shooting standard or open. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of those guns out there. I mean, if they're putting out a production optics light division, like, I mean, I would imagine there's more standard guns with optics out there than there are guys who would have to shoot with their light mounted to their gun.
They could have just added the 2 pistols to the production list. Just saying, USPSA did it. And I don't know what's the drag behind it. Maybe it's just the PSA I really don't understand.
I think standard optics would be really nice to have.
It's fair. But then you'll be racing against people with 2011s.
Well, yeah.
So I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference.
All your standard shooters buying new slides for their 2011s and running optics without having to spend Canada, so you can't.
Like you. Did you get your limited optics slide yet?
No, I have not.
As I mentioned on the last email, this gun averages 1 stovepipe per match day. Fortunately, not staged, but it actually has been outdone this time. I actually got 2 malfunctions on day 1 and 4 consecutive malfunction on one of the stages in a mini match. I think I was limp wristing a bit. It's one of the stages where you actually have a shield in front of you, so your arm is kind of like curved around. I didn't want to cycle.
Yeah.
In the end, I have to. Somehow, I didn't DQ on that. I guess my direction was okay. I didn't flag myself or anything. In the end, I have to put down the shield, clear the whole thing, put a new magazine in. Still had malfunction, so that was kind of disappointing. More
a lot of people having malfunctions on that. Sorry to interrupt, but were a lot of people having malfunctions? Or just
I don't think so. There is an interesting data point, though. There's the 3 amigos, I'll call them, who are running the same case of STV Scorpio ammo. 2 of them are shooting Glocks. One of them is shooting a Shadow 2.
Okay.
Both of the Glocks had random light strike issues with that particular ammo.
Okay.
So just a data point. For me, for PCC, that ammo runs just fine. But if you're running a Glock or a gun that's more prone to light strikes, I guess maybe don't run that.
Yeah,
I
usually
think that's
Glocks aren't, but
that's the only malfunction
I've seen Glocks being prone. They've changed out their striker spring or something. Then
okay.
That could be. I'm not sure if they had enhanced trigger in there or anything.
Malfunctions are great though, especially when you are in a match. It just means that it's giving you opportunities to learn.
But you're just trying to get by. Right? The goal I told my friend Jack is just don't DQ. You will sell right through this. You don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to run. You don't have to do anything. So
No.
Have a fun match. Have a good match. Have a safe match. Just don't DQ.
First match after a black badge? Absolutely. You just don't DQ, then you're finished, and then you go and do everything else.
Finish top three.
Yeah.
Finish top three.
Yeah.
I'll get to that later.
Podium, yeah.
So for the magazines, you would need a minimum of lifestyle drill. Hi, Dave. So for magazines, you need a minimum of 4 because in this country, 10 round. And the longest Ipsc stage for pistol is 32 rounds. So you really need 4 magazines. 5 would be best if you have a feeder in your back pocket.
6 would be better.
Correct, but then
what about 5 mags that are 40 cal mags?
I don't believe for Ipsc you're allowed to load.
You're not allowed to.
Which is strange because the Ipsc rule of production is 15 rounds. So like there isn't really a rule against it per se.
Like there's a Canadian
Ipsc
rule
Canada
against
has
it.
their own addendum.
Maybe that's just what it is. And I don't get why the number 15, like most restrictive either states or countries, is going to be 10. So just make it 10.
Production USPSA up until this year was 10 rounds.
10. I remember that.
And then this year they just bumped it to 15, I think.
Yeah.
Still 15. Weird. All your Glock magazines are 17 rounds. So now you have to count when you're loading. The PMags don't have a witness hole for 15. So I have to load to 17 and take 2 out. That just seems like too much.
I'm pretty sure that's for like 90s guns. That's for like SIG P226s and Beretta 92s, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
Which fuck those guys. It should be like as many as you can in 140 millimeters. Like give it a length or 17 or something like that. Yeah.
Sorry,
15. That's a 30-year-old gun. Why are you making rules for 30? Make rules for current guns.
How much does the high power hold? 15?
I don't know. Who cares about the high power?
I don't know. The Canadian government still cares about it.
Barely.
I kind of want one, but
they're gonna chop them up. You won't get your chance.
I know. So sad.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
The ones they're chopping up, you didn't want anyways.
I do. Look at the crap I got on my wall. I got Tokarevs. I got all sorts of junk up here.
Well, half of them are going to be gone once the freeze ban is not there anymore. I can see.
Imagine how much you could just sell all of that stuff for once the ban's done. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
There's going to be a very short time period for that because the border will be flooded in no time.
Oh, no. So once it opens up again, I sell practically everything, right? At like outrageous prices.
Oh, you have a very short period of time to do that in, though.
Yeah, and
I'm hoping the OIC gets overturned and I am able to sell a couple of my ARs because everybody's gonna want one.
Well, instead of buying, you guys are talking about selling.
Right?
Like
that's the wrong.
That's the wrong mentality.
I'm starting to sound like Adriel.
Buy low, sell high. I sell when the market's high, and then if I could just buy them back in 6 months, oh hell yeah, I'd sell all sorts of crazy stuff.
Hey.
All these crap guns I don't want anymore, sell them all at like outrageous prices, and then wait, and then buy nice stuff when that stuff comes in at reasonable prices.
I think I can wait, but I wanted 1911. That'll be my competition gun, I think. So if you're shooting a major 2 or more spotting power 45 on 1911, you need probably 5, if not 6 magazines.
Here's how you get the Wilson Combat 10 rounders.
Here's how the rule plays into it though. If you shoot major, the limit for the classic division is 8 rounds. So extendos actually don't make sense, which is kind of interesting. So I guess if you're shooting a 1911, standard capacity magazines are fine. Although I don't know if it's preferable compared to if you're shooting 9mm, which still there's a limit, 10 rounds. So I guess basically flush fit is the rule of the land, so to speak.
Is it 8 rounds mag or is it 8 like 7+1?
8 round mags.
8 round mags. Okay, they have a little lip on there, but that's nice anyways, because the flush fit ones are a pain in the ass to take out if they get jammed up in there.
That's fair. So the belt setup, competition belt, as mentioned by John, is much preferred. I have a Huon. This is the pretty cheap and affordable ones. These are done by Blaytech. Just the inner and outer Velcro belt set. I have my holster and my mag pouches here. The heavy duty double layered belts like this 511 one can work, and I've seen students use these, but they're just not, in the long run, they're just not as convenient. They do work though, as long as the single layer ones doesn't work as well, because when you're drawing, you're kind of pulling the whole belt up. That's not as convenient. Retention holsters can work, but they're not preferred for Ipsc competitions. For 3-gun, maybe, because you're running around with a
You're
pistol.
running with a pistol in your holster. Yeah, Ipsc, you take it out as soon as the beep goes, right?
Not necessarily. For some of the stages, it's beneficial to run to the engagement point and draw, but you can, it's just a short sprint, so you can keep one of your hands on the holster and run like that. It seems to work okay. If you have a retention holster, like my friend, you're actually beating up your finger just by drawing so much on that day. So that's not really great. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you want something fancy, to double alpha X, like the race type holsters, is legal for all Ipsc divisions, unlike USPSA.
No, not like USPSA.
Yep, USPSA, I believe, production and care optics, you have to use whatever.
So
suitable for
carry
daily
optics
carry.
or production has to be a Kydex style holster. It cannot be a race holster like Ipsc, where Ipsc you were allowed to have a race holster.
Yeah. So the only type of holster that's specifically prohibited is the surface style holster, which is originally made by Blackhawk, as it does increase the risk of you ending into your feet. So we don't want that. You draw, the release mechanism is on your index finger, so there's the increased risk of you just kind of doing this when you're drawing. So we don't really want that, especially for newer shooters. You may or may not know what you're doing. It's just, I'm not sure if hard holster is a requirement, but it's definitely much more preferred. Leather holster with little experience can be a safety hazard.
So it depends. You have to actually also, whoever's doing the course, they will tell you what holsters are required. Uncle Mike's, for example, you can't use those here in Ontario.
Yeah, the soft ones.
It has to be soft or leather. I believe leather as well, but I know for sure Uncle Mike's. But there are different holsters and retention levels as well that are required.
Again, don't have to be anything fancy. This is also a Blade Tech product. Fanboyism is coming through. This one is not expensive. It's only about like $40-$50.
Yep.
And under $100, you can get a pretty decent holster. No retention. You just pull on it, but won't drop out, which is good. Here's a data point for everyone who is running a omnivore holster by Blackhawk for some reason, because you need to borrow a gun. There's actually 3 models of it. This is the non-library model, which have a rail key that you attach to it. So that's how it locks into the holster. It's some release, so that's not a problem really. It fits the APX great. It fits the Polymer 80s pretty all right. But it does kind of drag on the shadow too. I'm not too sure why. So the official fit list is really small in comparison to what actually works. Mag pouches also doesn't have to be anything fancy. I have the Blade Tech double Glock ones for my PCC. They do work for basically any other double stack 9. It's not very adjustable though. It's just straight up and down and side by side. If you see, some of the competition guys will be running mag pouches that sticks out on the side, which helps you draw a little bit better. But again, if you're getting into it, doesn't have to be anything fancy.
The nice thing with those ones is they're more compact. The adjustable ones are generally like a little bit less compact, a little bit harder to get them.
And it's just easier to throw on and just kind of leave it as is. Ammunition, 500 rounds is pretty much a bare minimum. Your instructor may ask for more. I would say just buy a case of 1,000. It's mostly how most economical it is. If you're getting into it, 1,000 rounds flies away in no time. Literally flies away, right? Some would say that's a lot of equipment, but To be honest, not really. It's all gears you need for Ipsc competition anyway. If you're not getting into Ipsc, maybe it's not the right course for you. Other daily stuff you need: food, water, appropriate clothing. On day one, it was actually quite a cool day. I expected to be much hotter, so I dressed kind of little. Not the greatest experience. If you're doing it in the summer, sunscreen, bug spray also be good. Your instructor may ask you to bring a bucket for picking brass. You may keep it for your own reloading journey or just as a part of the range cleanup effort. So that's up to you. Any questions on the prerequisites of Black Badge before we go into the 2-day course of what I did?
No, that's pretty actually
Sunblock, mosquito spray, food.
Yeah, fed yourself well. It's a lot of running around.
Lots of water.
Lots of water.
Yeah.
Especially on a summer day.
And be prepared for a full day of
overlay
shooting.
so that you can challenge your instructor.
Yeah.
Really mess with them.
That's really good. Actually, do that. They'll really like that.
They'll love it.
Double.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if my membership package will come with the overlay. I actually don't have one for the
No,
course.
bring your own.
Yeah.
Bring your own and make it bigger than
bigger.
Yeah, they'll love it.
For our scoring, it's actually really, really generous. Basically, anything that's remotely touching the lines is the upper score. So,
yeah.
All right. So day one in the morning, it's basically a reminder of how the classroom portion was and basic range commands for Ipsc. Load and make ready. Are you ready? Stand by. Beep. If you're finished, unload, show Claire. If Claire hammer down, holster hands. What it is, we did some dry fire on how to grip the pistol, how to draw safely and quickly. Is that like arms tucked in a little bit? Dry fire on what's the best way to do a reload in front of your face, looking at a magazine. And after that, we went into a live fire phase where it started as basic holster training. You have a target, 7 yards, draw on an Ipsc standard target, fire around, reholster. The concept is take your time to make a good shot and make sure it's an alpha score. After that, when everyone's a little bit warmed up, added a little bit time pressure was the holster. So about 2 seconds, 7 yards, draw, fire shot, which is in Ipsc speak is pretty slow. But again, everyone's new at this point. After that, there's some one-handed shooting as well. Strong hand, weak hand. How to transfer your pistol safely to your other hand. It's kind of important. You don't want to, because you're not used to your left hand. The risk of dropping your gun on the stage is high, and that's a decuable offense.
Well, that's why you practice in dry fire.
If you're not twirling that gun in between hands, I don't know what you're doing.
You have to do very deliberate movements, okay?
Yeah.
In the afternoon, we added on more stationary movements. For example, classic El Presidente, how to turn with a gun and what's kind of the draw point when you're in the middle of a turn. You don't want to draw too soon, then you break 90. You want to try to draw as close to 90 as possible just because it's faster. If you want to step forward, make a turn, or step backward, make a turn, because some stages would dictate toes on fault line, heels on fault line, things like that. Also did stand to kneel transition and stand to prone transition, which on a half and you need to go prone shooting a pistol, but I guess it does
sucks
happen.
though. Like shooting prone with a pistol is awful. So I think it's probably a good thing, because otherwise you might be tempted to try it on your first stage or like maybe one of your first matches and then do it and be like, oh my God, I made a mistake.
I don't know how I shot so poorly prone. I guess
it's terrible.
You're not the first person to do that, by the way.
It's way worse.
Because they never
should be no problem.
Yeah,
Prone's
right?
more steady. It's a more steady position. I can shoot more accurately for prone, not with a handgun. No, it's terrible.
Yep.
I guess that go back to the whole resting your hand on the barricade thing. It doesn't make it more accurate. Just go for it. Don't poke your whole arm through the port and do that. And it's not really worth it. We also learned about how to shoot around barricade, like stepping on the fault line without stepping across the fault line. Ooh, doggo. Left versus right, strong side and weak side. You might have a preference. And the class kind of emphasis on don't crowd the barrier, like don't go towards the target for the extra like 1 feet. They like do this. That's not a stable shooting position, right? So on the end of the day, we had a tiny mini match. It was a Ipsc modified El Presidente. It's 3 targets, turn, draw, surrender, position, but 3 shots on each target, not 4. We also learned a little bit about how to work the stage, how the taping works, for example, cover a little bit about scoring. I'm kind of disappointed. There's nothing about running a tablet, which on a club match you will be doing. So maybe that's a thing we can add to the course in the future.
Just play some Candy Crush beforehand. You're good to go.
Yeah.
It's not complicated to work practice score. I'm also in IT, so it's not quite fair, but I like figuring out like 1-2 runs in. But there's
I think it's more like the process, right? 2 alpha, 2 alpha, 2 alpha, 2 alpha, alpha Charlie, like that whole rigmarole. Like, what the fuck are those guys doing? Like explaining that would be interesting. Like the tablet itself is not bad.
Yeah, and I would argue that maybe the running of the tablet doesn't need to be in there because, okay, maybe at a level 1 club level, you're running it, but you get up to a level 2, you're not going to be running it unless you're RO certified.
Yeah.
So
it's fair too. So I guess that's fair. We also did a stage walkthrough as a part of the tiny mini match. Get into the shooting box, do a dry run with your finger guns. Okay, do a draw. Beep.
And then you go through your walkthrough, and then you shoot it. And you're going, yeah, that walkthrough, I totally did exactly what I didn't want to do.
Yeah. It's funny because walkthrough didn't make sense. Well, I was not gonna say it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't stick in my mind until like the 3rd, 4th club match I've ever shot. It's like, okay, here's my reload points. I'm gonna shoot like. You're going to have the count of 8, 6, 8, for example. I'm going to reload here. And these targets are already engaged because they're visible from multiple positions. The first and second match was like there's double stack targets that only double tap instead of shooting 4 times. There are targets of shot 4 times because they're visible from multiple angles, things like that. So it's very much about stage planning in the mid to higher level for sure. I got cocky. I only ranked 4th out of everyone. I did the 3-shot, do a reload, 3-shot in 8.5 seconds, but I hit 1 mic. So it wasn't great. Yeah.
Yeah,
considering how much I've shot, well, not pistol, but how much I've shot Ipsc, sounds a little embarrassing. Day 1 to me isn't very exciting just because it's draw fire kind of thing. I shot Steel Challenge was a pistol before. It's a lot of drawing. It's kind of like that, but without the response of the steel. Day 2 is a little bit more fun, I think. Start with dynamic movements, how to move around barricades with a gun in hand, and especially going back uprange, how you want to look uprange while you have a positive index. Sorry, maybe the microphone was cutting out. How you're moving uprange while you have a positive index on how your handgun is going on. Make sure you're not going uprange with your pistol as well. Switching back, turning your heads if you're moving kind of diagonally around barricades. Shooting on a move, stabilizing yourself when walking kind of softly. We have a brief lesson on that. In the mini match, we didn't really shoot on the move, and I think that training kind of have to come naturally over time in progression. I don't think a short course will be able to get you there, and I guess that's the reason why it's not emphasized on. After lunch, it's the whole setup for the mini match. Somehow, I don't understand this because I had 4 mark function on one stage. I was marked the winner overall. I think that's just I'm the winner overall for the last stage, but I haven't confirmed that and the score.
I wonder if they ran at points. Because if they ran at points, then
maybe.
like your other
In no
wins might have made up for it.
Yeah.
I don't believe so, but maybe. Yeah, when I was shooting with a shield, I had warm-up function in that role. That was terrible. Also, I wouldn't suggest pushing yourself on a black badge course. I'm somewhat familiar with this, so I'm more comfortable about running on the stage. But if you slip up, the gun drops to the ground, that's a DQ. If you're running and your muzzle is just slightly uprange, that's a DQ. You don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, if you're in general, if you're in the more upper end of shooting, you shouldn't be thinking about your finger placement because that should be second nature. But for black badge, definitely pay attention to that because it can happen. If you DQ, you will need to, at the very least, do a requalification. It's extra time, even extra money, maybe. So I don't think it's really worth it. After you pass, for me, it's about 2 working days. You will get your Ipsc black badge number, and now I can register for Ipsc matches pretty much across Canada. There's going to be, I should have mentioned this in the upcoming events thing, in the second and third week of June, BTSA is going to have a quad header, actually 2 double header, let's put it that way, Ipsc level 2 matches, qualifiers. So I'll probably be there for at least one of them. And one last thing to mention is to retain your black badge certification. This is direct quote from Ipsc Alberta. Ipsc members need to compete at a sanctioned Ipsc match at least once per 12 months to maintain their black badge certification. Members that have not completed at a sanctioned match within the last 12 months will need to be recertified to become recognized. Members who have not shot a match within 3 years will need to recomplete their black badge training.
Yeah,
and I think it's unfortunate that there isn't an accelerated black badge course, as in just give me the second day, don't give me the first day. Like, I know how to draw a pistol.
Well, doing the initial one is fine. If you get the right instructor and you got a class full of experienced people, he might be able to do something for you there. But as far as renewing after a year, like for Adriel, you get in touch with the training guy and talk about the 3-gun and that, he'll good chance they'll sign you off.
Watch me twirl this handgun as I transition it to the other hand.
I'm going to be impressed. Handguns on the same stage.
Along the line. I think that should count for something.
Oh, David's saying they pulled his after 5 years. Really? 5 years?
That's Ontario, though, too.
That's fair. Again, each section, each province is a little bit different. And Ipsc Canada is quite a bit different from first USPSA because they're just the closest, but even it's quite different against the rest of the world, for example.
Yep.
As they took my money each year. Well, yeah, that sucks. Any questions?
No, I think we've all done. Have we all done our black badge?
Yeah.
I think we're all certified. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that has nothing to do with our black badge, but yeah, we're all certified.
True.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. That was a good overview of the Ipsc class, the black badge class from a news perspective.
Hopefully,
on to listener feedback. You had an email that you sent in, right?
Yes.
Well,
you want to read it?
Do you want to read? I guess I'll read it. You've been talking long enough. I'll read it. Please read on air. This is a placeholder email from Tony, as it will be on air this week. Good night. Best regards, Tony.
Oh, that is
Tony.
That's the shortest email you've written ever.
I think so.
Yeah, but you made up for it with the rest of it.
Yeah. I just wanted to. Yeah, I did want to talk about Dave Crack. He said it. He messaged privately and said it was a really good show. So thank you very much. But he also commented here. It says, in Ontario. So he's in Ontario. Obviously, they pulled his after 5 years, but they took his money every year. They will do that. So yeah, I shoot at least one match. I shot one last year. They took my money.
Like if you have the options available, it's not such a big deal. It's just if you don't have the options available.
Oh yeah, like Alberta. I'm surprised that's not the way. Maybe it is that way in Ontario, but Alberta, once it hits summertime, you got to be on there on registration night, like right at the time registration opens.
That's a side thing I was about to mention. I think the registration always opened on the Tuesday before 7 p.m.
2 weeks before, basically. Tuesday, 2 weeks before. So you basically have just under 2 weeks for the match.
But it fills up like quick. So you got to be like F5 in hand. Our instructor actually mentioned that too. So
yeah, you got to be quick.
Yeah.
Cool. Emails we got. Kyle, you want to do YouTube comments?
Sure. So our first three are from episode 555, and they are from Tony.
Yeah, I should have read those, but I don't have the account.
The State Express 555. I tried to call the 1-800 number mentioned, but it's a busy tone. I might have broke it. And then agree with Adriel on the range selection for new shooters. It's all about the people. After I joined BTSA, a whole new world of shooting was introduced to me. And then for the first time in a while, we got some Gersan testing and review comments.
Oh, God.
This is from Leaf Nilsson. It says, you need to be running heavy loads for about 100 rounds, then you can hip shoot this gun fine. Me and all my friends have quite a few of these guns. Goes on to ask, did you oil the moving parts? Just asking. And then he says, how cold is it out? Maybe the gun oil you're using is not a good fit for cold weather. So, yeah.
Kyle, do you oil your guns even? Come on.
Well, I got to put my used motor oil somewhere.
Used motor oil? Come on. At least you brand new full synthetic 5W20.
No, they don't rate their brand new stuff.
I always have like half a bottle of syrup, just like on the last jug. There's always half a bottle of surplus. That's just why I've been running. Seems to work fine, especially in the winter times. They're overall quite light in terms of the oil weight.
Well, I gotta say, I am glad I don't have to worry about cold weather anymore. But I did find that like some pastes do not work in cold weather.
Yeah. Next thing you know, your rounds are going to be cooking off in your chamber.
Problems you'll have to deal with in a bit here.
Yeah. So we do have a few more comments. Tony snuck in a couple other ones here. One from episode 467, Ipsc Nationals with Taylor Reich. During my black badge training, a group of 3 friends were sharing one case of STV Scorpio 9mm. Yeah, you were mentioning this. The 2 Glocks had light strike issues. The CZ did not. STV ammo has always functioned in my 2 PCCs. Just a data point for viewers. And then he commented on episode 186.
I think that's one of the earliest one I can find.
Christmas for kids. And he says, time for logo Gen 3.
I think there was a mention of as it was something to do with the logo. I think that was still the shotgun side with the Slamfire going vertical logo. Maybe we'll have an AI enhanced logo in the future. We'll see.
AKA cheap and quick.
Yeah. And then Eddie commented on episode 555. I wonder if Diversity Dave is going to apply again to be a host. And he says, Tony should apply. He seems to always be commenting on the show live.
So now I don't have to type anymore. For today, I don't have to type. It's good.
Well, Eddie, here's Tony, and here's his application.
As an interviewee.
So yeah, that is it for the YouTube comments.
Awesome. Thanks.
Great. We'll do Cabela's sometime or another. Thanks to our supporters on Patreon and Player. If you'd like to support us, head on over there. If you'd like to email the show, send your email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Shoutouts?
Thanks, Tony, for coming on.
Thank you.
Having a great suggestion.
I thought I was doing it, and I've been waiting for Black Badge for a while. I was thinking, if PCC would have came out sooner for a second, if it would have let me shoot pistols, I would have went with that. But it's not the case. If you shoot pistol, then you can't shoot PCC. Well, lame. I don't want to spend extra money. I'm like, you're drone cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kyle, any shoutouts?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out Tom for wrangling all the sponsors for the VFW match, and then Tammy and Kevin, they were there ROing, and Tom was there ROing as well. So getting everybody through the match, made sure everyone had a good time.
Cool. Tony, any shoutouts?
I'm gonna shout out Taylor Wright. I know he doesn't need a shout out anymore as the freaking twice PCC national champ, carry optics champion as well. I wish him another production optics champion this year as well. I think he missed it, but tiny little bit last year. He was the person who introduced me to Ipsc shooting. He recalled it pretty much correctly. We didn't meet at an ORPS match. We met our club level rimfire rifle league one day. I was like, okay, you don't have a pistol? No problem. Get a PCC, come out and shoot. And following his helpful step after that. Of course, I don't expect myself to get to his level anytime soon. Probably never, considering my amazing physique comparing to him. But yeah.
All efficiency.
Can't thank him enough. I'll also shout out my friend Jack, who took the Black Badge course with me. He's kind of the person that pushed me over the edge. I was like, okay, now I have no excuses. There's someone out there. We're going to carpool and go there, wake up early both days, and we're going to take Black Badge together. So that was pretty cool. 2-day event. And I will actually, one extra note. If you are taking Black Badge not on a long weekend, I would highly suggest that you take the Monday off. Be pretty sore and pretty mentally stressed. This is the ultimate test. It feels like I'm back in school. There's a final exam right in front of me. I actually didn't know it was a long weekend until I checked. I was about to submit my time off request. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Don't have to worry about that. And lastly, the Slamfire Discord member Killswitch, who attended the Black Badge with us, and he also attended our rifle match. So shout out to him, shout out to a listener.
Cool.
It's always great to do that kind of stuff with someone that you can carpool with, because you can compare notes on the way home and lightly compete with them if you're a competitive kind of person, which I always really liked.
Also, just have someone to talk to on your way there and back. It's just the car ride is so boring. All the ranges around Calgary is so far away nowadays. It's either BTSA, Kananaskis, or CTTSA. Depends on which part of town you're leaving, or Drumheller, I guess, close-ish. Depends on which part of town you're leaving from. It's all about an hour away. So,
cool.
Hours per day.
Yep. Well, thanks for listening. Join our Discord server. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Player. Join the CCFR, and we'll see you next week. Later, everyone.
Next week.
Bye.